In Krakoa, the resurrection process is a groundbreaking development that allows mutants to be revived after death. This process is made possible by the collaborative efforts of the Five, a group of mutants whose combined powers facilitate the resurrection. Storm's role in resurrection, while not directly part of the technical process, is multifaceted and vital. As a senior member of the X-Men and the Quiet Council, the governing body of Krakoa, Storm helps debate, establish, and enforce the policies and protocols surrounding resurrection. This includes making decisions on who gets prioritized for resurrection and ensuring the process adheres to ethical standards. Her influence helps maintain trust in the system amongst the Krakoan people. Storm personifies the ideals and values of the Krakoan nation. Her presence and role in the resurrection process serves as a symbol of unity, hope, and continuity for all mutants, and she represents the strength and resilience of the mutant community, reinforcing the idea that, despite powers, despite death, mutant kind can continue to thrive and grow. Krakoa. Arbor Magna. A resurrection egg begins to hatch. Once the young female husk emerges, Professor X restores her mind and soul.
This is the new world, Rain Sinclair, and you have returned to it. Welcome back.
Storm smiles as she helps the long-lost young mutant to her feet.
Welcome back, little sister. You have been born again, a mutant in all your glory, Krakoan.
Storm kisses her on the forehead.
Everything that brought you here, all the things that made you a prisoner of past sins, are gone, for good and forever.
Storm stands tall and smiles down at Rain. In her heels, Storm is well over 6 feet tall.
So let the past go and live.
Much later that night, Krakoa. Ororo Munroe is snatched awake by a nightmare that feels all too familiar.
I see the world split in two, and I know it is no dream. The sound of the earth breaking is drowned by a young girl crying. And the crying scares me more than anything else. It terrifies me to know someone is feeling a pain I recognize all too well.
The next morning,
I track down a young South African mutant I've never met. The young girl, who I learn is named Abeni, lives in a small town called Dahlstrom.
Seconds later, South Africa, Dahlstrom.
It is a small village near my homeland. There are more emergency vehicles and equipment at the edge of the village than any place of its size should have. A tragedy has happened here. No, the tragedy is ongoing. I look on at the rock storm that rages before me, one caused not by my wither, but by mutant power nonetheless. Abeni does not see me, although I do not know if it is because of the rock debris or because of her suffering. For a moment, all I see is her pain, because I remember it all too well. Then I see where her rage has focused. Either by intent or passion, her rock hurricane has found its targets, and it threatens to shred them alive.
Storm slaps a rock away from her face as she approaches the young girl.
This must stop, Abeni. This is not the answer to your pain.
Abeni snaps out of her trance.
What are you doing? Who are you to put in these monsters?
Abeni moves the earth beneath Storm. Storm summons a wind to protect herself from the debris.
Monsters they may be, but I will not allow them to make you one, Abeni. I say her name to remind her of it. To remind her that she and her powers are not simply rage and fury.
Tears begin to fall from Abeni's eyes.
You have no clue who these men are. What they have done to me. They killed my feelings.
There is no way to tell Abeni that even without knowing the details, I knew the truth. I knew because of the way her cry ripped through me last night, just like her rock storm rips through Dustro. I knew because there is only one thing that could cause that sound.
Abeni's mind flashes back to the previous night, the night her family was taken from her.
My father made me a secret place to protect me. These men made me use it when they came to my village and broke into our homes. For nothing but greed. They killed my family. As I listened and tried to repel these monsters, they deserve nothing but death.
I cannot argue with her emotions. I would not dare. Instead, I tell her that she is not alone in this pain. I tell her of the plane crash that killed my parents, and how I too was left alone in a dark, lonely place, with fear and rage choking me. I tell her this kind of rage can be so lonely.
Finally, Abeni lets the tears fall freely.
The way her voice and her tears break tells me no one has told her of pain like this before. Please, let me take you away from here, child.
With tears streaming down Abeni's face, they run to each other. Storm grabs Abeni into her arms.
I tell her that there are places where these men dare not go.
As she embraces Abeni, Storm does not look at the men, but she can feel their relief.
These men surely believe I am saving them. When we leave, I promise you, I will make sure justice is served. They are fools. The only one I save here is Abeni.
Minutes later, Krakoa.
I will not break my promise to Abeni, because I also know the crushing pain of broken promises. I bring her to Krakoa, our mutant haven, where she will know love again.
Hours later,
I cannot heal the scars those men have caused, but I can help her become a young woman. A young mutant who knows more than agony. Where, perhaps one day, I will teach her to let go.